This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, the future just got a little brighter for the Night Shelter Trust thanks to a couple of much needed cash injections. Keep calm and carry on knitting. It's a mantra that's working for one local politician and also several charities. And the DCC chips in with the grant for the city's access radio station and it's got staff excited. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. Staff at the Dunedin Night Shelter are positive about the organisation's future after two separate cash injections. More than 150 people slept rough at the weekend to raise funds for the shelter, as well as awareness about homelessness. But it's not the only financial support the Trust has received in recent days.
A home when you've not got one. It's a service that Dunedin Night Shelter is happy to provide. And Trust Chairman Dave Brown is thankful to the Dunedin City Council for a new grant it's received in the annual funding round.
That's quite good. They give us an amount every year, which is much needed, and that sort of goes through to running costs and keeping the, paying wages and that sort of thing to keep the place open.
Brown was among 150 people who slept rough in the Octagon at the weekend to raise funds and awareness for the Dunedin Night Shelter. It was an endeavour he says it was great to be part of.
Yeah, it was good. Weather was good. Well, stayed good throughout the night, but it was still quite chilly. And the entertainment, they put on entertainment, and that was quite good during the night, and everything went fairly smoothly.
The Trust was last year able to purchase this 5-bedroom building in Lees Street, and Brown says it's given the Trust breathing space to help in other ways. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
After a 6-year process, David Bain has had his claim for compensation rejected. Bain was acquitted at a 2009 retrial for the murders of his family in Dunedin, having spent 13 years in prison. Earlier this year, retired Australian judge Ian Callanan found Bain did not meet the threshold of innocent beyond reasonable doubt. That's one of the reasons why Justice Minister Amy Adams says the compensation bid was turned down. However, he was awarded an ex gratia payment of $925,000. We'll have more on the decision later in the bulletin. A Dunedin-based politician has found a crafty way to keep calm while helping others. Green Party co-leader Matiria Ture is passing her time in Parliament by knitting items for several charities. And it's the nation's youngest residents who are benefiting most.
Sticking to her knitting. It can often be tough to find solace and a place of calm, especially as the member of a political party. But Green Party co-leader Matiria Ture has found a way to concentrate and a path to inner happiness.
Yes, I'm in Knit World, and it is one of my most favourite shops because amazing things happen here. It's a place of real creativity. It's wonderful, wonderful women who come into the shop and knit. And, knitting and crocheting, these are amazing skills that more and more people are taking up.
She says it's a way to help her focus during her time in Parliament.
There are lots of people who say that knitting is a form of mindfulness, and I certainly find it that. It's very calming. It gives you a chance to do something with your hands, not fiddle with your phone, but also be engaged in the conversation that's around you. So I knit in Parliament, I knit in long meetings, and I use it as a way of focusing what's going on around me while doing something creative and constructive with my time.
As a parliamentarian, she says it's not about knitting for herself. Instead, she uses her crafting skills to make items for various charities.
Well, I've been doing a lot of knitting for a refuge in Auckland, knitting hats and jumpers, and more recently doing knitting for preemie babies. And the Neonatal Trust, they have a great pattern book that they'll send you, and it's really good to be knitting for other people.
She says it's a good feeling being able to give back to the community and those who need it, especially the country's youngest residents. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
The group behind a recently declined proposal to build a wind farm near Waitati have lodged an appeal against the decision. Blueskin Resilient Communities Trust is concerned the National Policy Statement on renewable energy generation was not given sufficient weight in the Dunedin City Council's decision to decline consent. The policy is intended to encourage generation from renewable sources such as wind farms. Trust members say they're keen to explore any options that could mitigate the problems, including the number of turbines identified by Hearing Commissioner Colin Weatherall. The city's only access radio station has, for the first time, received a service grant from the Dunedin City Council. Otago access radio staff say they're chuffed with a $10,000 grant that will go towards everyday running costs. And while the money is very welcome, it's not the only thing they're excited about.
Helping ensure this sign stays on. Otago Access Radio is one of a handful of recipients in the Dunedin City Council's latest city project and service grants round. It's the first time staff at the station have applied for the money, and they say it's reassuring to see that the work they do is valued.
It's a way that we align our own strategies with the council's strategy, so it's really nice to be recognised that we have, community wellbeing and strengthening at the heart of what we do here at Otago Access Radio, and it just melds in beautifully with the council's own wellbeing and community strategies.
Paris says it's always nice to have recognition from the City Council. She says this latest money received will be put towards the running of the station, helping ensure it continues to thrive.
So it's a really great opportunity for us to actually, with this money we're funded towards salaries, operation costs, and it will help us grow some more capacity and get more voices on air.
The council grant is not the only thing staff are celebrating though, with an upcoming event currently in the works. The inaugural Big Listen is on this month, with 12 of the country's access radio stations all hitting the street to promote what they do. It's an idea that sprung from a meeting between all the stations last year.
With the larger group of 12 stations, we can kind of pool our collective media resource as it is to publicise things on a national level, with support from the national body New Zealand On Air as well. And really sharing ideas. A lot of the stations have come up with some pretty crazy ways of celebrating the Big Listen. We've got a few of our own.
In Dunedin, more than 80 community groups and individuals make their own programs on Otago Access Radio. It's a number that, while impressive, Harford says could definitely be higher as more people discover all the options available to them on air. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a closer look at the decision not to award David Bain compensation for wrongful imprisonment, and we'll find out how well city drivers coped with this morning's icy conditions.
So August is our winter sale month, up to 50% off. This winter hasn't been cold enough until now, but we have to get rid of all this stock. We've got all these jackets. Also, to keep you warm and me happy, at 50% off, we've got all this knitwear. For all of August, we've got great savings on moleskins and jeans. Plus, we've got all these warm shirts, look at them all, from $50.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
First in, best dressed.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
So August is our winter sale month, up to 50% off. This winter hasn't been cold enough until now, but we have to get rid of all this stock. We've got all these jackets. Also to keep you warm and me happy, at 50% off, we've got all this knitwear. For all of August, we've got great savings on moleskins and jeans. Plus we've got all these warm shirts, look at them all, from $50.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
First in, best dressed.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
Welcome back. The Otago Community Trust has handed out close to $170,000 in its latest funding round. That amount includes two sizable donations of around $20,000 to both the Otago Rowing Club and to the Milton Community Health Trust. The organisation has also thrown monetary support behind a range of arts-based organisations and events, including Arts Centre and next month's Polyfest. Musical Theatre Dunedin and the New Zealand Choral Federation are also benefiting, each receiving around $7,000. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day down 27 points. It's now at 7,329. The ASX 200 is down 37 points. And to the exchange rates, we are unchanged against the pound, but we are up against the other currencies we follow. Well, as mentioned earlier in the bulletin, it's been announced that David Bain will not receive compensation for wrongfully spending 13 years in prison. University of Otago Dean of Law Mark Hennigan has followed the case since it began more than 10 years ago, and he joins us now to talk about this latest development. Good evening.
Good evening. It was the 1990s. It was before you were born.
Oh, you flatter me. Now, what was the first thing you thought when you heard this decision?
Well, I think it's relief that finally it's come to an end. I mean, it's gone on for a long time, really, so it's good to have some conclusion.
But do you think it has come to an end?
Well, I think the payment today, it wasn't payment for compensation, because the latest judge who looked at it didn't find on the balance of probabilities that David Bain was innocent, so that's one of the core findings you have to pay compensation for innocence. I think it was paid, primarily they said, because it was a long drawn-out case, but I think also it looked like there was some agreement between the government and David Bain's supporters and lawyers that, look, we'll pay you this, and that's the end of it. We don't want it going any further. I don't think they would have had much of a chance of taking it to court, because this is not a court decision. This is just a advice to the government by a judge who spent a lot of time, 148-page report, looking at it. So it's not like it's an appealable thing anyway. So I don't think it would have been. But I think it was kind of, look, at the end of the day, we're prepared to give you this, and please, can you agree that you won't take matters any further?
What are the requirements to get compensation?
Well, to get compensation for innocence, you have to show on the balance of probability. Someone has to do a kind of a whole scoping through all the case, and this judge did, and prove on balance that you're innocent. Now, David Bain didn't fit neatly within the normal requirements. Like Tana Poor, the last case, the man that got $2 million, he went to the Privy Council. The Privy Council said, look, we'll quash your conviction. I mean, the court got it wrong, and we don't even believe there's any evidence to go to a trial. So, and then a report found that he was innocent. In this case, David Bain went to the Privy Council. They said there were some things wrong with the evidence, but there's still enough evidence to go to trial. So he had to prove that not only was he innocent of the balance of probabilities, but there was something exceptional about his case. He didn't get across the first hurdle, so there was no way he would have got compensation in the normal sense here.
Why has it taken so long to reach this decision?
Well, I think the judges in this case, and it's taken a long time because there's been 3 reports. There was the first judge who the government, and that was probably the most controversial thing, the government obviously had some qualms about, and they're entitled because they don't have to pay compensation, it's not required. They got it checked by a QC who said there's some methods used here weren't appropriate, and so the government said we'll put it out to another judge. He's a senior High Court judge in the High Court from Australia, retired judge, so he's a very good judge. He spent a long time on this, and he's written a very comprehensive 148-page report, and so that's taken some time to come through. It's not something, he's gone through all the evidence and all, and there's a lot of stuff to go through, and he's concluded on balance that there isn't sufficient evidence here to say David Bain, on balance, of probabilities, was innocent.
What is this ex gratia payment all about? I mean, it looks kind of like a golden handshake.
Well, ex gratia just means they don't have to do it. There's no requirement to do it, so they're doing it out of goodwill. So that's all it really means. And so they're saying, look, it's been a long process. It's been an unusual case. We can't think of anything like it in our history. We're prepared to pay you that. It's cost you a long time. We're not saying you're innocent. On the other hand, this has been an unusual case. And also, if you agree not to keep banging the drum here and keep taking matters further, which I can understand his supporters may want to do, we're prepared to pay this amount. So it serves 2 purposes. One is some acknowledgement that it was a very complex and difficult case, and secondly, if they probably agreed to say, look, we're not going to take matters any further. So it kind of ends the matter. It kind of ends in some sort of a bit of like a stalemate. I mean, in the sense that there's no official finding of innocence, but David Bain was found not guilty by a jury of 12, and so he's free to go about his business. And this is some, I suppose, payment to kind of say, well, look, it's been unusual. We're prepared to give you some of your losses back, and if you agree to not keep pursuing this matter.
So you're saying that he would have had to have agreed to this ex gratia payment in order for it to be made?
Well, I think there's been an agreement. I don't think he has to agree to it, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's obviously agreed, and there's been some terms set out. I mean, I don't think the minister set them out, but it was clear from her statement that that there was an agreement. This would be the final. This will be it, basically. So I think that was incentive for the government to pay this, because it has gone on for a long time. It goes right back to about 1995, and so I think it's good to have an ending. It's not a perfect ending for anyone, but at the end of the day, it is a conclusion. I think it's been exhausted through every process: courts of appeal, judges' inquiries, governments looking at it, and I think we've got to say at a certain point, it's got to stop. Yeah.
Has any other compensation applicant received a payment like this before in New Zealand?
No, this is unusual. I mean, people have got compensatory payments like Tana Pora and others, and Arthur Allen Thomas, for example. But this is the first one where they've just said, look, we're going to pay you because it's a difficult, unusual case, and we want it to finish. No, there hasn't been, and the minister admitted that. This is a new precedent, I suppose, in some ways. Yeah.
And David Bain has come out today and said they got it wrong.
Sure.
Do you think he's going to do or likely to do anything more?
I think he still believes, and he's entitled to believe that, and I think his supporters believe in good faith that he is innocent, and I suppose if you believe you're innocent, you believe you're innocent. The fact they've accepted it, they're not saying we accept we're not innocent, they're just saying, look, all right, we'll stop pursuing this process, but we still deeply believe that David is innocent. He strongly believes that, and he's entitled to accept that belief. And there will be debates while people are still around in pubs and clubs all around New Zealand saying, what are you thinking? What we think doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the government's paid a certain amount of money, the money's come to a conclusion.
University of Otago Dean of Law Mark Hennigan, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a heavy frost catches some drivers out, and hundreds of school kids take on a cross-country race.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
You can make a difference for the SPCA this Cupcake Day. It's the sweetest way to help animals in need. For more details, go to spcacupcakeday.co.nz.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jean, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
We need your help to rebuild our animal centre urgently. Please give a little today.
We're a 25 Moray Place, Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. Treacherous black ice greeted Dunedin residents this morning, prompting further warnings for motorists. Senior Sergeant Shona Lowe says police were generally pleased with driver behaviour given the heavy frost around some parts of the city. However, emergency services did attend an accident after a car slid off the road near Mount Cargill. No one was injured in that accident. Police are urging motorists to take care when driving in shaded areas, bridge crossings and any areas that could potentially harbour black ice. They say that while various sections of road in the region do have blue cat-sized devices to indicate icy conditions, many areas do not. Hundreds of primary school children have gathered at the Alhambra grounds for an annual cross-country race. The George Street Normal School event comprised about 400 runners in a dozen different categories. It's one of the city's largest school cross-country events held throughout the year. Dozens of parents and supporters attended, cheering from the sidelines. The cross-country aims to foster sports participation and physical activity among pupils. It saw young runners test their limits over 2 hours of competition. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Members of the Dunedin Night Shelter Trust are pleased with the recent monetary support they've received from both the community and council. Green Party co-leader Matiria Ture is knitting up a storm as a way to provide calm in her life while helping out several charitable organisations. And Otago Access radio staff are taking part in a nationwide community radio event designed to inform more people about the work they do. Well, it is time now to find out what's going to be inside Wednesday's Otago Daily Times, and Deputy Editor Craig Page joins us. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, David Bain's the talk of the town today, obviously, and we'll be having plenty of coverage that tomorrow. We're having a closer look at the decision and at the report, which came to the conclusion that he wasn't to be found innocent beyond reasonable doubt. So we've got plenty of coverage on that. Also been out on the streets and getting a bit of a feel from the public in Dunedin about whether they feel he should have got compensation or not. So big story. We've also got more on the wind farm at Porteous Hill. We've spoken to some residents up there. It's got really nasty amongst many residents over there against the fors and against. We've spoken to some who have decided this was enough, this appeal, and they're now going to move from the area. Their house goes on the market and they're getting out. They can't face an environment court hearing, they say, and they just want out. So
wow.
Yeah, a bit sad really.
That is radical.
It is. We've also got confirmation the university is going to build its new animal testing facility. We had a story last month to say they were going to build it, but they were pretty hush-hush on where it would be because obviously pretty negative reaction towards that sort of thing as well. It's going to be built in Great King Street next to the School of Physiotherapy, so going to be interesting. They're 5 stories, so it won't go unnoticed once it starts. Work's due to start in the next couple of days, so it's going to be a busy area to go. On the sporting front, we've been down to the Otago University and had a bit of a look at the redevelopment down there. They're spending $750,000 on upgrading the embankment to increase test status really, so they can get more people in the doors, up to 6,000. It's looking pretty good. It takes a bit to impress our cricket writer Adrian Ciccone, but he certainly came away smiling. The embankments are in place. They just need some warm weather now so the grass can start growing, and it's going to look a picture come spring and summer.
Fabulous.
And bad news for our Southern Steel, who've been the victim of their success, I guess. Their coach for 1 year, Nylene Torua, is off to Australia. They've got a breakaway league for next season, the Australian Netball League, and she's been poached to coach a Brisbane side there, so big loss for us, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Details in tomorrow's ODT. Quite a mixed bag of happy and sad stories in there too. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is our city view for today. It's taken off the Roslyn Bridge. Around the city at 3 o'clock, 10 degrees recorded in the central city and 11 for both the Gardens and the Tyree. To the situation, and a depression will move across the country tomorrow and Friday with stormy weather. And around the main towns on the lower South Island for tomorrow, gusty easterlies with some rain for both Invercargill and Te Anau. Snow flurries for Gore with gusty easterlies, and sleet for Alexander with nor'easters and a high of 5. Nor'easters with sleet in Queenstown and Wanaka. Rain for Oamaru with nor'east winds. Snow flurries for Twizel with a high of just 4. And Dunedin tonight, cloudy with a low of 4. Tomorrow, light rain from early morning. It'll be heavier for a time around the middle of the day. There'll be snow above 300 metres on the hills. Breezy nor'easters to boot with a high of just 6. And on Thursday, sleety rain clearing in the morning, then dry with cloud breaking in the afternoon. South to southeast winds, in fact, with a high of 5. So we're in for a bit of a cooler break. Well, let's have a look at the Otago Pellet Fire's tidal and fishing information. Low tide tomorrow morning is at 10:30, high tide follows at 4:10. And fishing conditions aren't looking too flash tomorrow, so we recommend giving it a miss. And that is all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.